Hey, my name's Luke and welcome to my channel and this video. So earlier today I did a live stream where I went through a whole bunch of Macintosh hardware, basically 5 different Macs that I recently got 2 days ago on Christmas Eve when I went on a road trip up to regional Victoria and picked up all these computers for $200 Australian, which was pretty good. Um, they're in pretty rough shape though, so it's not that good. But it's a challenge, is the way I like to think of it. After I saw this listing, talked to the guy who was selling it, went up there 300 k's from where I am here in Melbourne, and picked up the devices. And yeah, so this video is essentially me going through them for the first time, really closely looking at them. I just literally unpacked them, and then Christmas has happened and haven't had a chance to actually properly look at them until today. This is actually the one I was really wanting to get a hold of because I used to have one of these, or I used to learn to program on one of these at school. It's a Macintosh Performa 5200 120. As you can see, it's in a bit of a rough state. It's obviously been up against a wall or in some dirt, on a shed, in a shed, and definitely needs more work to get it going. But we'll save that for the video. But essentially, yep, we've got this. We've got a Macintosh Classic, got this iMac, we've got a Macintosh Plus, and another Performa desktop computer. So let's roll the video, and as I went through them this morning and see what I found. And now here we are on Boxing Day, so day after Christmas, and I thought I would just go through each of them and see what we've got, because there's a few. So there's this one, first of all, which is a Macintosh Performa 5. As you can see, it is a bit grotty. I feel like it's been sitting in a shed faced down or up against a really dirty wall. Funnily enough, this is the one that the guy says works. If you look at the back of it, you can see it is in, pretty rough shape. And then we've also got the side there, which is also equally dirty. Definitely been up against the wall. So yeah, he says that works. So I'm vaguely tempted to test that theory. Interesting enough, it actually looks like this has just always been around Pyramid Hill because it's got an asset label on it for Pyramid Hill College. Asset number 530. So obviously lived there locally. As well as this one, I also got as part of it, a Macintosh Classic, which apparently doesn't work. He said nothing happened, nothing comes on. An Indigo iMac slot loader, which apparently does work, but very slow, he said. Macintosh Plus, which he hadn't tested, so that's, don't know what about that one. A mystery Power PC of flat box of some sort, which is missing its label. Style writer printer, and then a whole bunch of discs and stuff. So I'm just going to quickly go through them today and have a look and see what we have got here. First of all, I'm actually going to just open up this one because even though he tells me this works, I am somewhat skeptical that this is going to blow up the moment I plug it in. That screw is really hard to get it in there. So as I was saying, it is Boxing Day here in Australia now. It's going to be, I'm in Melbourne, so it's going to be nearly 40 degrees today, which is unpleasantly hot. I honestly don't think this has ever been pulled apart. there's another screw there. I think that is actually the one that's causing me the grief. Every time I touch this computer, dirt falls out of it, which is wonderful. Blah. It still has its hard drive. And quite a bit of rust. And it still has its battery in there as well. Yeah, I don't think this has ever been opened. Ugh, look at that stuff. Yuck. Despite the fact that it's so dirty, it actually doesn't surprise me that it works. Because if you look at the back of that actually looks in really good condition. Apart from that rust on there, maybe it's mostly only surface damage on the outside of the box. The case, sorry. We're going to get rid of this battery to start with. No signs of corrosion that I can see. Just dirty. I need a brush. The reason why I was interested in this listing to start with, I normally probably wouldn't buy something that looked this rough, but I used to, when I was at school, this is one of these computers is basically what I learnt to program on. Pascal in the mid-90s, basically. So I have kind of wanted one for a while. It needs work. But so far, maybe not the worst thing. It's got 2 sticks of RAM. Don't know what they are. Hard to tell. And it's got a Ethernet card in it. So, definitely some spiders been living in here. Yeah, there's some serious rust in this too. Definitely been living somewhere very dirty. All right. Let's just spray some contact cleaner on this. If I take that off. Just to make sure when I reconnect that, it gives it the best chance of making a good connection. It does look really good though. Like actually, surprisingly, for all the rust on the actual metal parts of this, the actual contacts all look good there. So I can, maybe the guy wasn't lying when he said that it actually tested it and it worked. I didn't actually, he had them all on the floor waiting for me to collect them by the time I got there. So I didn't really ask to test them. Oh my God. So what I'm actually going to do is I'm just going to try and clean that power connector a little bit with a big cotton swab. Just to see, make sure this is reasonably clean. I mean, this itself is quite dirty. I'm going to have to, if this, this case, I'm going to have to pull this whole thing apart, I think, and completely give it a thorough cleaning in a sink, because it's gross. Yeah, I've just cleaned up the electrical connectors a little bit on there. We'll see if that does anything of usefulness. This may all be over very quickly. Keyboard, very important. Not the keyboard it came with. I did get a keyboard as well. Looks like it's got mouse poo on it. All right, that we need to just give some power to. I'm just going to plug my cable in here. Okay. Here goes nothing. Oh, it does work. That's amazing. Chimed. Are we going to get any picture? Maybe the CRT doesn't work. It's definitely got a buzz going on. Now, when I do actually try to clean this up at some point, I have to be really careful because the plastics on these ones are particularly brittle. It's making some weird noises. I think it's mostly just coming from the speaker though. Doesn't look like the CRT is working, so I'd say something is not all good there. Just going to turn it off again, and we'll turn it back on. I can't hear the high voltage kicking in, so I don't think the CRT is powering up. So God knows what that means. Could be any number of faults with the analog board. And these ones have particularly complicated analog boards, which are not fun to troubleshoot. But it does chime, and it's obviously getting power. So the analog board is working. Just the high voltage part of it obviously is not kicking the CRT into action. All right. Well, that's that one. That's the Macintosh Performa 5260/120. Needs work. A lot of work. I'm not going to lie. Kind of daunting. All right. I'm going to get rid of this one now. And, oh, heavy. All right. The next one that they told me was working is this one. The iMac Indigo. I don't know what's going on here. It's a weird star. Apple rainbow star logo. Anyway. Dirty. Yeah, but I've seen worse. Interesting enough, obviously this one, the internal chassis inside there is all cracked. Big cracks down there, which is not a surprise because these are really brittle. Because Apple did not put a fan in them, so they got really hot. Now, that one I don't think I need to do too much to. It's been obviously sitting somewhere up off the ground, unlike that poor Performa. So I reckon this one we will just give her the old power without too much fanfare. Well, the high voltage definitely kicked in on this one. Hard drive is very whiny. Very whiny. Oh, there we go. CRT works. And it is booting. Look at that. Oh, sorry about the flicker there. Oh, the computer was not shut down. Oh, that has some funky sort of theming going on with the window frames. Oh my God. It's now verifying the hard drive. I need a mouse. Here's one. And stop this. Stop. Stop. Don't care. Okay. Look, there we go. Boots, and then nothing. Clock's definitely wrong. Oh, this has been some kids been playing on this. There's games aplenty. Ooh, cat app. Oh, it makes cat noises. And now it's purring. Oh, it's put his cat on the... Oh, that I can poke and I can pat. And it burps. Thanks for trying out USB overdrive. To register this copy, open the USB... Okay, shut up, cat. Still talking to me. Right. The theming on this is quite fancy. I've never seen a fancy-ass theme like this before. Let's have a look and see what we've got here. 1 gigs of RAM. Geez, that's actually quite impressive for a Mac of this vintage. They've done something with that. Must actually have 1 gig in it. Yeah. Interesting. Been well spec'd out. Oh, yeah. I think it just crashed. It's crashed. Oh no. There we go. How do we see about this computer? Oh, where do we get to system profiler? They've hidden it. How big's the hard drive in this? Yeah, 774 megabytes available. Interesting. I actually need a keyboard to be able to... Actually, I can just do this kind of... Get info. Wow. It's got a 12.75 gigabyte hard drive in it as well. This has definitely been worked on and upgraded over the years. Created 9th of December 2014. So obviously it was being used about 10 years ago. And it is now making fart noises when I close Windows. That's interesting. What I'll end up probably doing with this one, because the chassis is quite bad inside there, I may end up using it for parts because I actually already have a Indigo in much better condition than this one. But I do have a Blueberry slot loader that does not have a working analog board. The analog board's dead in it, so I may end up using this for parts for that. But it's interesting, it's got so much memory and hard drive in it, space. I just can't find System Profiler. I don't actually know off the top of my head. Oh, there it is, Apple System Profiler. It was hiding. This theme is making it hard to spot things. Okay, this is a 400 megahertz G3. So one of the earlier Indigos, because it's got the green power button as well. Anyway, that's good. Shut him down. And so ends the whining noise. All right. Yeah, get rid of that beastie. What's this one? Macintosh Classic. Missing its screws. The looks of it. Interesting. Yes, it is definitely missing all of its screws. So that's interesting. And that makes it actually a bit easier because I don't want to power this one on without having a quick look inside to see what's going on. Because these ones are definitely of the vintage of exploding batteries. And exploding capacitors that spew all of their crap all over the logic board and the analog board. Okay. Not looking too bad. I have opened up some horror ones of these in the past. Let's have a look what we've got now. Oh dear. Definitely have some corrosion happening over here on the analog board. Interesting enough, it's missing the shield, which is definitely someone has had a look-see in here. Just adding a voice over here. This may look like corrosion from this picture, but it's actually just flux residue from when somebody removed one of the MOSFET transistors, which you'll see or hear about in a second. Oh, actually, it's missing a capacitor. It is... one of the capacitors is missing off the analog board. Looks like it's got all of its original caps on it. Oh, actually, maybe someone's done some work on this at one point. Actually, it's missing it. Oh, God, it's missing a big capacitor there too. It's missing one of the big 240 volt ones. Also, while editing this, I noticed it was missing one of the MOSFET transistors, QP2, in this location here. I'd say someone's been using this analog board as a parts board, which is interesting. The fuse, I'm just curious. Definitely not powering this one up in its current form because that analog board is screwed. Well, maybe not screwed. It's possibly, yeah, okay, the fuse is definitely gone in this as well at some point. So, but it's missing, I mean, it's missing parts. What do you expect? Now, of course, I'm doing this and I have not got this plugged in because I would not be playing around with this plugged into power like this. So someone has definitely been using this board for parts. Yeah, so the fuse is gone. Just cleaned the side of that. And with some isopropyl alcohol. And yeah, there's definitely some signs. There's definitely corrosion going on in parts of it, but it's not too bad. So I'd say that analog board is possibly repairable. with some parts. Now, the good news is I actually have a few analog boards which are much further gone than that beastie. So probably recoverable. It's got the memory card in it. That's a good sign. It's got a hard drive. I'm just going to yank this memory card out. No Sims installed into that, but is a genuine Apple one. Pull the hard drive cable out. Let's have a look at the logic board and see what state we're in. Definitely hasn't been recapped. I can see by the capacitors on this board already. All right, she's out, free. All right, there it is. Dusty, but actually in not bad condition. Still got its original battery. Some signs of capacitor leakage, but not too bad, to be honest. I've seen much worse. Obviously, the battery hasn't leaked, which is a good start as well. Normally, there's a lot of capacitor juice up around there. I'd say this board will work as well. So it could even work now. There's definitely, I just saw there's some corrosion on the pins of the power board. So there's definitely been corrosion going on from those capacitors over in the hotspot area here. And it's traveled up the cable and is now well and truly in that plug. That will be fun. Test the voltage. This battery is as dead as a doornail. Nothing in it at all. Its date code is 1991. So would have been impressive if it still had. Funnily enough, I actually got a old another iMac the other day, and it's got one of these ones in it, the Maxwell super battery. It's in a bag for a very good reason, because these batteries definitely like to explode. Thankfully, that slot loader Mac, I pulled this out of it, has not leaked, has its full amount of voltage in it as well. 3.6 volts, fully charged, probably why it hasn't blown up. It's in this bag for a very good reason, though. I don't want it to blow up, and I'm very glad to have it out of that Mac. The only thing I can put it down to is the guy who sold it to me said it was an e-waster, and he had got it from an old couple, and they were still using it regularly, although they were downsizing, so they were getting rid of it. And so I'm imagining he just had it plugged in for the last 25 years, and so the battery really hasn't had to do much. So that Classic looks like it could work. Maybe. We'll see. Definitely will need a recap, full recap of the board and various other things. What I might just quickly do, just to test that theory, we'll get rid of this piece because that definitely ain't going to work. Ugh, because it's missing parts. I do have another one over here. I have a test Classic chassis sitting off camera here. This one does have a lovely working analog board in it. Case looks rough. The case was pretty rough. This was a battery bombed one. What I'm going to do is it's actually got a Classic 2 board in it at the moment, which is working because I just recapped that one and I'm just running some tests on it. Oh, do I have my extension cable? I might have an extension cable. This won't work. Will this work?
This might work. Depends what side I can do this in. That side. I can't remember if this cable works with this one. Nope. Oh yeah, there we go. Now, I wouldn't normally like to test these without cleaning that a bit more, but that actually really doesn't look like it's got much capacitor leakage going on. So, the benefit of making this vaguely interesting, let's give it a test. It chimed. I heard a chime, a bit weak, but there was definitely a chime. And looks like we've got a mouse pointer as well. Will we get the flashing disc? It appears not. Oh no, there we go. Flashing disc has now appeared. And just plug a mouse into this. Mouse works, good. So ADB working. Oh, nifty. Okay. Let's insert that again. And try again. Yep, still chimes with the memory card in as well. Sims not installed. Yeah, that is correct. There are no extra Sims installed in there. So, well, that's good news. Working classic logic board. That is a good find there. And I'd say analog board, I give that a reasonably good chance of coming back to life, but it's going to need some extensive work. And also missing parts added back into it. Someone has clearly definitely been using that analog board in that one as a parts board. So that's good news about that one. Let's just pick that up and we'll pop him over here. All right, next is this one. Oh, a Macintosh Plus. Actually looks in really good condition. Let's have a look at the battery. Oh, interesting enough, it's still got the battery in here. It looks like it's original battery, but I don't think it's actually leaked at all. Oh, maybe leaked a little bit. Not much though. There's very little corrosion on those tabs. So that's a good sign. Let's just see. I doubt there'd be any voltage left in this beast. Oh, 0.3 volts. Well, that battery can not go back in there. That can go and join the Maxwell battery over there. So this one does have its screws. Given the lack of corrosion around the battery terminals there, I'm very tempted to give this one a try, and we'll see whether it actually turns on. Okay, 1, 2, 3. Oh, look at that. That's a healthy sounding chime. And straight to a flashing disc. Excellent. Obviously the Macintosh, oh, nice strong CRT as well. Obviously the Macintosh Plus doesn't have a hard drive, so it's not going to boot anything at the moment. But we can test this quickly just to see how much RAM this has got by booting it off my floppy emu. System disk, let's give it a System 608. Looks like we're booting. I actually don't think I've got a mouse that'll work with this handy. Oh, maybe I do. Oh, system error occurred. It's not a good sign. Mouse. Any mice in here? No. Yeah. Well, I don't have a mouse handy for one of these. You have to go and hunt one down. I might just try and boot it off a different system disk. Maybe there's something wrong with my image on that one. Well, we are booting. Let's say that was just a issue with the system disk that I was using. Yeah, look at that. Now I don't have a mouse pointer to move the mouse. So I can't do much else other than that and go, yay, it's working. So hooray for that. Turn that off. So obviously, again, hasn't been sitting on the floor. Hasn't been rated for parts. So that one is the most complete working without too much fanfare that we have so far. All right, last bit here. It also came with my favorite thing in the world, a printer. Style writer, something or other. Just a style writer. No other description. It's like, oh, there we go. Oh, there we go. It's got the ink cartridge in it. Canon BC01. I think I used to have a Canon Bowljet printer that had the same ink cartridge in it. I'd say that's not going to work. I actually have a collection of printers because you sometimes get Macs, you get the printer. I do enjoy a listing when someone says, oh, it comes with the printer. It's like, yeah, awesome. Love printers. That may just go into the box. If anyone wants a printer, hit me up. I have plenty of printers to go around. Willing to give them away. This beastie. Don't know what it is. It is actually not a Power PC by the looks of it. M3076. M3076. What is the M3076? Okay, it's a Macintosh Performa 6200 CD. It does have a CD. Obviously, the label has come off it at some point. Interesting enough, this one has AV ports in it, and it's got a TV tuner card by the looks of it, which is nifty. Oh, comes off. This one has also obviously not been sitting on the floor. That poor Performa. I feel like it's been sitting on the floor for a decade. Just getting all crap in it. Come out. There we go. Still got your battery in there. Yep. Interesting. Obviously, I've never opened one of these before. The TV tuner card, which has the TV plug there, or the antenna plug, and the video card must be in the top section of that case. So I've never opened one of these, so I don't actually know how to do it. That analog board looks all right, though. I feel like there's going to be a screw. There it is there. No screws there. I feel like this slides off. Does it slide off? Maybe it doesn't slide off. I don't know what it does. Oh, it's going to slide that way. I don't want to force this because I'm not 100% sure of the state of the plastics on this one. Anyway, let's get rid of this battery. Goodbye. Come on, come on. There we go. Thank you. Good riddance. Here you go in the dead battery corner. This one's actually in really good nick. Analog board looks in good condition. It's obviously not a Power PC, but it is. What actually is it? It is 75 megahertz. Oh, it is a Power PC. It doesn't have the Power PC logo on it though. All right. Now, I don't have a monitor handy for this one, so testing of this will be somewhat limited. Also, the power cable does not fit for some reason. Why does that not fit? There we go. Just made an electrical connection. I heard it go click. Put those bits on there. I assume this has a soft power on. Let's just see if we get a chime out of it. We do get a chime, and a healthy chime at that, and a big ass fan, and a CD drive that opens. Well, that's good news. That one works, obviously. Very, 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 very tight power cable. I'm just going to put these bits back on here so I do not misplace them. And I will work out how to open up the top of that at a later date. Because right now I have to go and sort some turkey stuff out for our Boxing Day Christmas lunch. So that goes in there like that. That hooks on there like that. Okay, that makes sense. So that's not too bad. So that's all the actual computers. The other thing I got, which I'll just show you quickly, a bunch of floppy disks and manuals and stuff and games. Okay. Oh, there is a power switch on the back of this. I just saw it. Assume that it is just the equivalent of doing the soft on. Yeah, I'll be interested to open this one up and have a good look inside it. Pretty easy cleanup job. What's the date of this one? November 1995. It's got its 30th anniversary in a year's time. Happy 29th birthday for last month. Ugh. There we go. Heavy. And the other thing we got is in this crate. Floppy disk galore. Word, works, word. RSG program, whatever that is. Dictionary. Quicken. Excel, style writer, fonts. You used to have fonts on a floppy disk. Print shop, HyperCard stocks, HyperCard startup. Learning Microsoft Works. None of these are original disks. A lot of double density disks here, so these must have been for the Plus. Microsoft 1. I don't know what that is. Microsoft 2. Word. A lot of Word disks. My God. Mac volume. I assume probably was running Word off a floppy disk on that Plus. Signs, animals, people, special occasions, transportation, trees, plants, occupations, what the hell's that? Characters, Fancy letters, frames and borders. And there's the only original disc. Well-connected Macs. Connexus. I don't know what a Connexus is. So there's quite a collection there. More floppy disks here. Albert's house. Where Albert is. Some Mac graphics, classic clip art. Carmen San Diego. More word disks. There's so many word disks. Virus detector. And more graphics. This seems to be the graphics pictures-y type sort of collection of floppy disks. Performa startup discs. CD, probably for that Performa with the CRT problems. Macintosh Power manual, sorry. Some technical information. Important, read this first. Printer software. 4 discs of printer software. Mac Graphics 2. Macintosh Performers User's Guide. Claris Works. User manual for the printer. Awesome. Love printers. Learning Mac Paint. Nice little... I assume this is like a quick start guide. Some paperwork. I don't know what this is. Oh, images. Definitely somebody who did a lot of image work had these computers, because so many of those discs, clip art and stuff like that. Cash Flow Manager. Welcome to the PC Cash Flow Manager. Somebody who obviously worked for the CFA, Country Fire Association. Learning to type quick. Oh, Mavis Beacon teaches typing. A type styler. Fonts. The powerful special effects program for creating display type. And whatever this is, DataWorks. Adventure Hike. I do not know what this is. Looks like a game. It's a kid's game of some sort, but it looks like it's like a learning thing. It must have been used by school. Oh, it's a HyperCard thing. Requires a HyperCard player. And there you go. There's the original receipt for it. Bought 16th of August, 1996 for $49.95 plus freight and handling of $7.50. Total of $57.45 from New Horizons in Arbandale, New South Wales. DataWorks registration card.
Well, that's it for today's video. I have obviously got my work cut out for me. There's a lot more work to do on these to get them up and running. So if you're interested, if you've enjoyed today's video, please subscribe, like the video as well. That's helpful. And I'll definitely be doing some videos over the next few months as I work through these and get them working or do something with them. So yeah, should be fun to watch. And thanks for watching today. See you later. And Merry Christmas and a Happy New Year.